Steelers fans, the wait is finally over. A new chapter has begun in Pittsburgh, and it comes stamped with the legacy of one of the most accomplished quarterbacks in NFL history. Aaron Rodgers, four-time league MVP and Super Bowl champion, is now officially a Pittsburgh Steeler. Let that sink in. This isn't just a roster move or a short-term experiment. This is a statement from the organization. The Steelers are not rebuilding. They're not waiting for the future. They're chasing another Lombardi trophy right now. And Rodgers is the man tasked with leading that charge. At 41 years old, Rodgers arrives in the Steel City with more than just experience. He brings credibility, leadership, and that unique edge only a battle-tested veteran can offer. For years, Steelers fans have longed for stability under center since the retirement of Ben Roethlisberger. There have been experiments, there have been stopgaps, but none carried the weight and pedigree that Rodgers does. And the message is clear. Pittsburgh believes it can win now. This isn't a slow build toward contention. It's a 2-year window to make something special happen. And Rodgers is the centerpiece. What makes this signing even more compelling is the urgency that's been brewing inside the organization, especially among the veterans. Defensive captain Cameron Hayward has openly talked about the pressing need to win a championship before his career comes to a close. This move isn't just about elevating the quarterback position. It's about honoring those who have poured everything into this franchise and giving them a legitimate shot at glory before it's too late. Rodgers isn't here to be a superhero. He's not being asked to carry the entire franchise on his back or return to his MVP form from a decade ago. What Pittsburgh needs is someone who can be a smart, poised, and efficient game manager. Someone who understands how to make the right reads, avoid costly mistakes, and capitalize on the talent around him. And in that role, Rodgers might just be the perfect fit. His arm strength hasn't faded, his football IQ is still among the highest in the league, and his ability to read defenses and make precise throws in tight windows remains elite. But let's be honest, this will only work if the rest of the team does its part. Rodgers can't overcome a leaky offensive line, a non-existent run game, or a defense that crumbles in the fourth quarter. That was the story with Russell Wilson last season, and the Steelers are determined not to repeat it. General Manager Omar Khan now has a massive responsibility. Bringing Rodgers in was a bold step, but it was only the first one. This roster needs to be fortified. The offensive line must hold up. The run game must be consistent. The receiving core has to be reliable, and the defense needs to deliver when it matters most. What makes Rodgers a compelling addition isn't just what he brings on the field, it's who he is in the locker room. There's been a lot of noise over the years about Rodgers being difficult, being a diva, not being a mentor to younger players. But if you actually listen to the people who've shared a locker room with him, guys like Devontae Adams, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, and even young quarterbacks like Jordan Love and Zach Wilson, you'll hear a very different story. Shade teammates speak of a quarterback who knows how to connect, challenge, and inspire. He may not be warm and fuzzy, but he's authentic. And sometimes authenticity is exactly what a team needs. This Steelers team doesn't need coddling. It needs accountability. When things go sideways, Pittsburgh needs someone who's going to speak up, demand more, and raise the standard. That's the leadership Rodgers can bring. He's not afraid to get on someone's case if they're underperforming. He's not going to sugarcoat a bad practice or tolerate mental mistakes. If anything, Rodgers might be the very spark this offense has been missing. Someone who can elevate the mindset of the unit just as much as he can move the chains on 3rd and 7. The idea that Rodgers is too old to compete is also worth challenging. Let's look at history. Brett Favre was considered done when he left the Jets and joined the Minnesota Vikings at 40. The year before, Favre had one of the worst statistical seasons of his career. Then, out of nowhere, he delivered a near MVP campaign and took the Vikings to the NFC Championship. Sound familiar? A veteran quarterback on a team that had playoff potential but couldn't get over the hump? The parallels are impossible to ignore. Then there's Tom Brady. After an uninspiring final season in New England, people questioned whether Brady had anything left. What happened next? He joined the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, had one of his most efficient seasons in years, and led the franchise to a Super Bowl win. And that was during a pandemic season with limited prep time. The common denominator in both those examples, arm talent. If the quarterback still has the arm, there's always a chance. And make no mistake, Rodgers still has that arm. He may not have the same mobility he once had, but his release remains lightning fast. His deep ball still has zip. His accuracy hasn't dipped. He can still throw into windows most quarterbacks wouldn't dare attempt. What this means is that Rodgers doesn't have to be superhuman. He just has to be consistent. Think Tom Brady style football. Quick decisions, smart throws, minimal mistakes. That's the path to success for Rodgers in Pittsburgh. He's no longer the gunslinger who can improvise outside the pocket for 10 seconds. But in the structure of a disciplined offense with the right pieces around him, he can be deadly. And let's not forget, Rodgers is motivated. After a disappointing stint with the Jets and a season derailed by injury, he's got something to prove. He's heard the critics. He's seen the headlines. He knows the window is closing. That kind of motivation, paired with his skill set, could be the exact fuel Pittsburgh needs to make a legitimate run. He's not chasing individual accolades anymore. He's chasing legacy, another ring, another moment on the mountaintop. That's what drives him now. Head coach Mike Tomlin, known for his ability to connect with players and manage personalities, is perhaps the perfect leader to oversee this new era. Tomlin isn't looking for a rookie to develop or a backup to manage games. He's looking for someone who can walk into the building and command instant respect. Rodgers fits that mold to a T. With over 2 decades of playoff experience, a resume packed with game-winning drives, and a reputation for reading defenses like an offensive coordinator, Rodgers is the veteran quarterback Tomlin has been waiting for. But expectations need to be realistic. Rodgers isn't going to fix everything on day one. There will be growing pains. There will be moments where he looks like a quarterback in a new system, adjusting to new personnel. But if Pittsburgh can get the run game rolling, if George Pickens takes the next step, if the offensive line gels, and if the defense holds strong, Rodgers gives this team something it hasn't had in a while. Hope with teeth. Hope that's backed by a proven track record in Hall of Fame level play. And for fans who are worried about locker room chemistry, it's important to understand that Rodgers doesn't have to be everyone's best friend. He just needs to lead. In fact, this group might benefit from his no-nonsense approach. Too often, over-positivity can mask deeper problems. Rodgers, for all his quirks, is not one to let issues fester. He will call them out. He will demand more. And in a locker room full of young, developing talent, that kind of honesty can be invaluable. As the Steelers prepare for training camp, the buzz around Rodgers will be deafening. Every throw will be scrutinized, every press conference analyzed. But the bigger picture here is what this move signals. It says the front office believes this. Team is close. It says they're willing to swing big. It says they're not afraid to invest in greatness, even if it comes with risk. Because the truth is, championship windows don't stay open forever. You either jump through them or you watch them close from the outside. Aaron Rodgers in black and gold isn't just about aesthetics or headlines. It's about belief. Belief that a team with a proud history and a hunger for more can make one. Last push with a quarterback who still has something left in the tank. And whether it ends in triumph or heartbreak, one thing's for sure, this season is going to be unforgettable. There's something poetic about a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, finishing his career in a city like Pittsburgh. A place that breathes football, where legacy matters, and where expectations are sky high the moment you step onto the field. This isn't Los Angeles, where flash overshadows grit. It's not Miami, where the sun shines brighter than the defense. This is Pittsburgh. It's about hard-nosed football, blue-collar toughness, and doing things the right way. Rodgers knows that, and that's exactly why this could work. But make no mistake, there will be doubters. There will be those saying Rodgers is washed, that he's just cashing in one last check, that he can't play winning football anymore. To them, I'd say watch the tape. Not just the highlights, not just the occasional deep ball, but the way. He sees the field, the pre-snap adjustments, the manipulation of safeties with his eyes, the subtle footwork inside the pocket to buy an extra half second. These are not the habits of a quarterback on his way out. These are the tools of a master craftsman, someone who knows how to make a living in the margins of the game. One of the most important things the Steelers need to do now is protect him. That means investing in the offensive line. Rodgers won't be able to run around and extend plays like he used to. His legs won't bail him out of broken protection anymore. But if Pittsburgh can give him even average pass blocking, you're going to see a quarterback who can dissect defenses with timing and precision. That's when Rodgers is at his best. When he can step into his throws, trust the pocket, and let the offense operate like a machine. And what about the weapons? That's another area where the front office needs to deliver. George Pickens has superstar potential. He's got the physical tools, the attitude, and the playmaking ability. But he needs to be consistent. He needs to mature. Rodgers could be the perfect quarterback to accelerate that growth. If Pickens embraces the challenge, you could be looking at one of the most dangerous QB-WR duos in the league. Add in a reliable slot option, a tight end who can create mismatches, and a running game that forces defenses to respect the box. And Rodgers will have everything he needs to thrive. Of course, the defense also has to do its part. Last season, the unit fell apart when it mattered most. Missed tackles, blown coverages, fourth quarter collapses. That can't happen again. If the Steelers want to be taken seriously in the AFC, the defense has to be dominant down the stretch. Because the truth is, even with Rodgers, they're going to be facing quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow. You don't beat those guys by simply hoping your offense scores one more touchdown. You beat them by making stops. You beat them by forcing turnovers. You beat them by making life miserable for opposing offenses. And Rodgers can help there too. Not directly, but by playing smart, methodical football. Long drives that chew clock. Fewer turnovers that lead to short fields. Better field position. That's how a quarterback can support a defense without ever making a tackle. It's complementary football, and it's something Pittsburgh hasn't been able to play at a high level for years. The real wild card in all this, though, is chemistry. How fast can Rodgers learn the playbook? How quickly can he sync up with his receivers? How well will he click with Mike Tomlin and the coaching staff? These things matter. The NFL is as much about relationships as it is about X's and O's. And this won't work unless everyone is rowing in the same direction. Rodgers has to buy into the system. The coaches have to adapt to his strengths. And the players around him need to be ready to follow his lead. And let's not overlook the importance of the fans. Steelers Nation is unlike any other fan base. Passionate, loyal, and brutally honest. If Rodgers plays well, they'll worship him. If he struggles, they'll let him hear it. That kind of pressure either breaks you or sharpens you. But if there's one thing Rodgers has never lacked, it's confidence. He'll embrace the spotlight. He'll feed off the energy of Heinz Field, especially in December, when the cold sets in and every game feels like a playoff battle. Looking ahead to the season, the schedule won't be easy. The AFC is a gauntlet, and there are no shortcuts to the postseason. But with Rodgers under center, the Steelers have something they've been missing. A quarterback who knows how to win. Not just in the regular season, but in January. A quarterback who's walked into enemy stadiums in the playoffs and come out with victories. A quarterback who's been on the biggest stage and delivered. That kind of experience doesn't guarantee success, but it sure improves the odds. And if this experiment works, if the offensive line holds up, if the run game takes off, if the defense finds its swagger, then why not the Steelers? Why not a run to the AFC title game? Why not one last magical season for Rodgers? That's the beauty of this move. It opens the door to dreams again. It brings back the what if. It gives Steelers fans permission to believe. Because in the NFL, windows close fast. Teams spend years searching for what the Steelers just found. A quarterback with pedigree, a team with urgency, a city that's starving for another championship. And now, they all align. Rodgers isn't a long-term solution. He's a final push, a 2-year sprint toward greatness. And whether it ends in confetti or heartbreak, it's going to be one hell of a ride. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Whispers are swirling in the NFL world as a surprising development might be on the horizon for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Reports suggest that the Steelers could be moving on from their current quarterback situation and bringing in a fresh face. Former Dolphins quarterback Brock Huntley. This potential signing has fans and analysts buzzing about what it could mean for the team's offensive future. With Aaron Rodgers' name not in the picture for Pittsburgh, rumors are growing louder that Huntley might be the guy to fill that crucial role under center. Huntley, who previously showed flashes of promise during his time with the Dolphins, seems to be gaining traction as a viable option for the Steelers, especially given their recent struggles to find stability at the quarterback position. The Steelers' offense has been in flux for some time, and the prospect of Huntley stepping in brings a new layer of intrigue. Known for his strong arm and mobility, Huntley could inject the kind of energy and versatility that Pittsburgh has been missing. While nothing is official yet, insiders close to the team hint that discussions have been underway. And the possibility of Huntley donning the black and gold seems more than just speculation. This rumored move could mark a turning point for the Steelers, who have been searching for a quarterback who can consistently perform at a high level. The idea of Huntley, once overlooked, now being considered a key piece in Pittsburgh's rebuild, is sparking plenty of excitement and cautious optimism. As the NFL offseason progresses, all eyes will be on the Steelers to see if this potential signing comes to fruition. Will Huntley be the quarterback to lead Pittsburgh back to its former glory? Only time will tell, but the chatter around this development is undeniable, making it one of the most talked about possible moves of the offseason. Fans should stay tuned as this story unfolds. What started as a rumor could soon become reality. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.